emotional news from Buckingham Palace has captured people's attention, leaving everyone in disbelief. This time, it's not about ceremonies, fashion, or official appearances. It's something far more personal. Reports are emerging that Princess Catherine broke down during a live television, and what happened next left viewers completely stunned. So, what really happened on live TV, and why has it moved so many people across the globe? Stay with us as we uncover the full story behind this unforgettable royal moment. Princess Catherine's emotional moment on live television. Royal life may be filled with privilege and honor, but if there's any disadvantage of belonging to the royal house, it's that as a member, one must conceal their feelings, even in the most challenging moments, so they won't appear weak. Just like Prince William and Harry experienced when their mother died at a young age, they were made to stay composed in front of the world, even when their hearts were breaking. Now, Catherine, being in the same system, could not hold on to that lifestyle when she broke down during her visit to Homestart, Oxford. Keep watching, because this is where the full story unfolds. This visit took place on a calm October morning in 2025. Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, arrived in Oxford with her usual grace. She was there to visit Homestart Oxford, a charity that helps parents and young families through the struggles of early childhood, from financial stress to loneliness and mental health challenges. For years, Catherine has been the face of campaigns encouraging support for parents in their children's first years of life, but no one expected that this particular visit would touch her so deeply. The visit began simply enough. Catherine met with volunteers and staff who dedicate their time to helping parents who often have nowhere else to turn. She sat among them, listening closely, nodding as they described their work. There was no media frenzy, no grand royal display, just honest conversation. Cameras were present, but the mood was intimate. Then came the moment that changed the tone of the day. In one of the charity's small rooms, decorated with colorful drawings and toys, Catherine joined a stay and play session, a program where parents and children gather for learning and emotional support. The room was filled with laughter.
I've seen that experiences such as homelessness, addiction, and poor mental health.
The sounds of toys and the chatter of toddlers exploring. Catherine, wearing a soft cream sweater, crouched beside a little girl stacking blocks. She smiled, laughed, and spoke gently with the child's mother, who began to share her story. The mother explained how, after giving birth to her second child, she had felt completely alone. One mother shared how difficult those early months had been, feelings of exhaustion, isolation, and self-doubt that many parents experience. She explained that the charity's volunteers gave her the confidence to believe she was doing a good job. Catherine listened closely, nodding and offering warm encouragement. Catherine's expression softened. She placed a comforting hand on the woman's arm and listened quietly. Witnesses in the room noticed her eyes glisten. For a brief moment, the calm, composed princess looked like any mother hearing another mother's pain. Her face revealed empathy, understanding, and something more. Those around her said it was clear she was holding back tears. As the session went on, Catherine moved around the room, joining other families and talking to volunteers. Each story carried its own weight. Stories of young parents overwhelmed by bills, mothers fighting anxiety, fathers trying to be present despite exhaustion. It was a real and unfiltered picture of what early parenthood looks like behind closed doors. And through it all, Catherine listened, often crouched low so she could speak eye to eye with the people who needed her attention most. Later, during a volunteer training session, the charity played one of the new animated short films developed by Catherine's own Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood. The film focused on how a baby's brain develops emotional connections in the first few years of life. The gentle music and narration filled the room, showing scenes of parents holding their babies, smiling, soothing, and speaking to them. Small gestures that shape a child's emotional world forever. When the video ended, the lights came back on, and everyone turned to Catherine for her thoughts.
Just about happy, healthy children. This is about the society I hope we could and can become.
She paused for a moment, taking a slow, steady breath before speaking. With a soft smile, she reflected on what they had just seen. noting how powerful it was to realize that the smallest gestures, a parent's words, a gentle touch, or a moment of attentive listening can shape a child's entire world. That human connection was what made the visit so memorable. Catherine wasn't there as a royal on duty. She was there as a woman who understood. Her own journey as a mother of three, balancing public duty with private life, gives her a unique understanding of the challenges parents face. Her work in early childhood development isn't just part of her royal portfolio, it's something she believes in deeply. People who have worked with Princess Catherine say she spends hours preparing for these visits, reading research, meeting experts, and learning how emotional development affects children's futures. But what truly sets her apart is how she connects that research to real people. That day in Oxford, she wasn't quoting statistics or promoting a campaign. She was listening. She was present. According to Homestart representatives, Princess Catherine's visit significantly raised awareness of their work, drawing new public interest and recognition. Many within the organization said the engagement made families feel acknowledged and valued, a reminder that their everyday struggles were being noticed at the highest level. After the indoor sessions, Catherine joined parents and children outdoors for a short playtime in the garden area. The autumn breeze carried the sound of laughter as she helped a young boy paint leaves and smiled as toddlers ran around her. She asked one little girl about her favorite toy and laughed when the child handed her a crayon instead. Those who watched her that day said she seemed relaxed and fully present, enjoying every moment. But that's not all. Another moment that has gotten many people talking was during Princess Catherine's interview.
Having been lucky enough to meet some of our country's amazing charities and organizations,
with a group of young people for a mental health awareness project supported by the Royal Foundation. The conversation took place in a relaxed setting, far from the formal surroundings of royal engagements. Catherine sat among teenagers and youth workers to discuss how modern pressures, social media, school expectations, and family struggles affect emotional well-being. The tone of the meeting was open and sincere. Instead of leading the conversation, Catherine mostly listened. She encouraged the young participants to speak freely about how they manage stress, loneliness, and self-image in a world that never seems to pause. One of the students mentioned how difficult it can be to admit when things aren't okay. Catherine responded gently, saying that being honest about emotions isn't a sign of weakness, but of courage. Her empathy came through not in grand speeches, but in quiet understanding, nods, smiles, and the kind of attentive silence that makes people feel heard. Observers noted that she connected with the group naturally, not as a royal figurehead, but as a mother and listener. She shared insights from her years of advocacy on mental health and early development, explaining that strong emotional awareness in childhood builds resilience for adulthood. The young people later described feeling inspired by her presence, not because she offered solutions, but because she made them feel that their voices mattered. This wasn't the first time Catherine had drawn attention for her approach to sensitive topics. Over the years, she has become known for her calm but compassionate tone when speaking about mental health, whether it's in schools, youth centers, or public forums. Her ability to blend professionalism with personal warmth has made her one of the most trusted voices in the discussion around emotional well-being. Yet behind all these moments lies a question that keeps people talking. How did Catherine become the woman the world sees today? Stay with us as we dive into this. The roots of her purpose. Now, what many don't know is that Catherine Middleton started her work not from the royal house, but from a place of quiet curiosity and compassion. Born on January 9, 1982, in Reading, Berkshire, she grew up in a close-knit family that valued kindness, education, and community. Long before she ever wore a royal title, Catherine's sense of purpose was already taking shape, grounded in the belief that small acts of care can change lives. Her early years gave her a deep appreciation for connection and emotional stability. Those values were passed down from her parents, Michael and Carol Middleton, who built their family business from the ground up. Watching them work hard and support one another taught Catherine the importance of consistency and empathy, two qualities that would later define her leadership style. Even during her school years at Marlborough College, Catherine showed an early interest in community life. Teachers often described her as thoughtful and reliable, someone who volunteered for school events and offered help quietly, without seeking recognition. She wasn't drawn to grand gestures or competition. Instead, she paid attention to people's feelings.
Mental health is best supported in all those around children and raising the next generation today.
The shy student in class, the friend who needed a word of encouragement. At the University of St. Andrews, where Catherine studied art history, that thoughtful nature found a broader world. Catherine became involved in social causes, student-led projects, and local volunteering. Her professors and peers noted how she approached everything with quiet diligence, always prepared, always willing to listen. It was never about publicity. It was about purpose. After graduation, before formally joining royal life, Catherine Middleton worked briefly in the private sector, including her family's company and other roles in fashion and business. Yet even in those environments, she showed an instinct for building relationships and supporting others. Friends recall how she spoke about wanting to use her position, whatever it might become, to help children and families thrive. That vision began to crystallize once she entered public service. When Catherine became a working member of the Royal Foundation, she didn't rush into projects for attention. Instead, she spent years researching, listening to experts, and understanding the social challenges families face, particularly in the earliest years of a child's life. She soon realized that the foundation of lifelong mental health often begins far earlier than people think.
It's really important to stress it. We can't take a fatalistic outlook on this either, for those who haven't had.
The first 5 years of a child's life, the relationships they form, the love they receive, the stability they feel, shape who they become as adults. This idea became the driving force behind her future work. Catherine's focus deepened through her early engagements with charities like East Anglia's Children's Hospices, Action on Addiction, Family Action. These visits were never mere appearances. Catherine would spend hours speaking with families, teachers, and healthcare workers, asking questions, taking notes, and following up after the events. Many organizations later said her attention brought renewed public interest and legitimacy to their missions. One of Catherine Middleton's earliest patronages, Place to Be, became a cornerstone of her understanding of mental health in education. Through school visits and meetings with child psychologists, she saw how emotional struggles often begin in the classroom, and how simple interventions, like trained counselors or safe spaces, can change outcomes. She later helped raise awareness about the importance of mental health education in schools, bringing a quiet but powerful voice to a topic once rarely discussed. As she grew in her public role, Catherine's work became more strategic. She wasn't just attending charity events. She was helping to shape the direction of national conversations. Her early collaborations with mental health experts led to the launch of Heads Together in 2016. A campaign under the Royal Foundation that encouraged people to speak openly about mental health. The initiative challenged stigma and inspired new conversations across workplaces, schools, and families. But Catherine wanted to go deeper than awareness. She began asking a crucial question like, how do we prevent emotional struggles before they start? That question led her to the field of early childhood development, an area she would soon make her life's central mission. Q1 through research, supported by the Royal Foundation, Catherine learned that emotional resilience, empathy, and mental stability all trace back to early relationships, which children experience from birth to age 5. In her own words, she came to see those early years as the building blocks of society. Her curiosity turned into concrete action. In 2021, Catherine officially launched the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, an initiative dedicated to advancing understanding of the critical importance of early development. The center works with academics, charities, and policymakers to highlight how nurturing relationships and secure environments shape lifelong outcomes. Through this platform, Catherine has spearheaded campaigns like Shaping Us, a national awareness project that uses research, storytelling, and community engagement to help parents, teachers, and caregivers understand the science of early childhood. The initiative includes films, educational materials, and workshops, all focused on showing how everyday moments, from talking and playing to comforting a child, can have lasting effects on their mental health. Catherine's leadership style within these projects reflects her personality: thoughtful, consistent, and grounded in empathy. She's known to arrive at meetings with detailed notes and an in-depth understanding of every partner organization. People who work with her often mention her ability to connect policy discussions with human stories, always bringing the conversation back to the child at the center. Over time, her work has expanded into areas like parental well-being, perinatal mental health, and early education. She's helped spotlight the role of community volunteers, health visitors, and family networks, the unsung heroes who shape a child's earliest experiences. During visits like the one to Homestart, Oxford, she's seen firsthand how simple support can transform a family's emotional world. It's clear that Catherine's journey wasn't about adapting to royal expectations, but about deepening a mission she already believed in. From her early volunteer experiences to her present-day initiatives, there's a visible thread, a belief that empathy is power, and that listening is the beginning of leadership. Those who know her work closely say that what sets her apart is her consistency. She doesn't chase headlines or trends. Instead, she builds long-term projects that grow quietly over years. That patience, a reflection of her upbringing and personal discipline, has made her one of the most respected advocates for early childhood in the world today. But what truly sets Catherine apart is not just what she does, but how she passes those same values on to her children, the future of the monarchy. Keep watching as we get deeper into this. Catherine's impact on the future of the monarch. One thing that is very peculiar about Catherine, Princess of Wales, is how she models for her children the same empathy and sense of service that she lives by. A perfect example came on May 8, 2023, just one day after King Charles III's coronation. Instead of resting after the historic event, Catherine and Prince William took their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, to volunteer with the 3rd Upton Scout Group in Slough as part of the Big Help Out, a nationwide day of community service. The royal family joined other volunteers in renovating the scout hut, sanding walls, painting benches, and even using wheelbarrows and shovels to help with landscaping. Catherine and William were seen encouraging their children to get involved. George focused on sanding, Charlotte helped with painting, and little Louis enthusiastically loaded wheelbarrows of soil. This event was more than just a photo opportunity. It was a glimpse into how Catherine teaches her children about the value of work, teamwork, and community spirit. She wanted them to understand that leadership isn't about privilege, it's about participation. Through this day of service, she showed them that small acts of kindness and cooperation can leave lasting impacts, and that empathy is best taught through action, not instruction. Another defining moment came when Catherine took her children to the baby bank in Windsor in April 2023. The visit reflected the princess's ongoing commitment to supporting families facing hardship. But this time, it was also an educational moment for her children. At the baby bank, Catherine and her family helped sort through donations of clothes, toys, and essential items for struggling parents. The initiative provides critical support for thousands of families across Berkshire and nearby areas, and Catherine wanted her children to see firsthand what generosity and service look like in practice. Witnesses recalled how she encouraged her children to take the process seriously, showing them how to fold baby clothes, organize shelves, and wrap gift parcels with care. It wasn't just about giving things away, it was about giving time, attention, and respect to those in need. Catherine has long emphasized that children learn empathy through example, and this moment perfectly reflected that belief. Her message was simple. She told the world that every act of kindness, no matter how small, carries meaning. Through this visit, she demonstrated that privilege should be a tool for service, not separation, and that gratitude is best expressed through helping others. And here comes the deal breaker. Aside from these mind-blowing visits, education has always been one of Catherine's strongest passions, and her approach to it extends far beyond school walls. For the Princess of Wales, true education means nurturing the whole child, their mind, emotions, and character, not simply their academic abilities. Her children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, attend Lambrook School in Berkshire, a place that reflects Catherine's values perfectly. The school encourages outdoor exploration, creativity, teamwork, and personal growth alongside traditional academics. For Catherine, this balance is vital. She believes children learn best when they feel secure, valued, and understood, ideas she continues to promote through her Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood. At home, Catherine complements formal education with everyday lessons in empathy, curiosity, and resilience. Catherine Middleton often engages her children in simple but meaningful activities: gardening, cooking, reading together, or taking long countryside walks. These moments aren't random. They're part of a deeper philosophy that learning happens everywhere, not just in classrooms. Catherine also emphasizes emotional education, helping her children recognize and talk about their feelings. She's spoken publicly about the importance of building emotional intelligence early in life, teaching children to understand both themselves and others. Through these choices, Catherine is creating a model of modern royal parenting that blends tradition with progress. She wants her children to grow up not just knowledgeable, but kind, adaptable, and grounded. Her goal isn't perfection, it's balance, a life where curiosity meets compassion, where learning never stops, and where every lesson, big or small, helps build character for the future. And the truth is, she's beginning to see results. A touching example came during the 2025 Wimbledon men's final, where Catherine attended the match with Prince William and Princess Charlotte. As the sun blazed down on the royal box, people noticed a small but deeply meaningful gesture. They saw Charlotte gently fanning her mother, who was sitting directly under the heat. The simple act was almost easy to miss, yet it spoke volumes. Observers and early years experts described the moment as a glimpse into Charlotte's growing empathy, a sign that she is learning to notice and respond to others' needs with kindness. More importantly, it reflected the very values Catherine has spent years teaching: attentiveness, sensitivity, and the quiet strength of caring for others. Aside from Princess Charlotte's touching gestures of empathy, even young Prince George has begun to show signs that his mother's influence runs deep. Though still growing into his role, George's quiet strength and sensitivity have already started to shine through, most memorably during a recent private family moment that captured hearts everywhere. For Prince William's birthday, George reportedly joined his school choir in performing "You Raise Me Up," a song chosen as a tribute to his father. Those who witnessed it described the performance as both tender and heartfelt, one that showed a young boy's way of saying thank you to the man who guides him, and, in a sense, echoing the emotional grounding his mother has always emphasized at home. It wasn't the grandeur of a royal engagement that made it special, but the authenticity of the moment, a glimpse of the next generation learning to express emotion through kindness and connection. And yet, while her children's actions often capture attention, Catherine herself continues to inspire in ways many don't see. So why the world stands in shock at Catherine's visit to Oxford is because of the wonders she performed publicly, showing care, connection, and commitment to the community. What many have not witnessed, however, are her actions behind the scenes, because sometimes the greatest moments are the ones off camera. So, what do you think about Catherine's visit to Oxford? Do you believe she's influencing the royal children and shaping them into a more empathetic and grounded next generation? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.